was specifically inspired by the pigeons, back to them. I have a bit of a fondness for pigeons in general. But what I got from the photograph was a sense of the everyday mundanity with this undertone of something really unsettling and uncanny and this paranoia. And what else have I done? Also in the spirit of the retelling of tales, the characters that you see in this piece are all vague interpretations of characters that are kind of part of our cultural collective consciousness. So I'm going to jump right in. It's called Perception. I lay in my bed and watch. Below my window is a busy road, punctuated by takeaways and cafes, corner shops and pub. I can wrap myself up in the duvet, sit in my bed and watch. It's the perfect setup. I don't own a TV. A pigeon is sat on the windowsill. He watches the world with me. He has hardly any toes. I don't know which is true, that pigeons lose their toes because of that wiry business that protects buildings, or if it is because their shit is so acidic that it rots them off. I hope it's the first one. The pigeon pays me no heed. We are kindred spirits. He does have toes. They're just not much. They look like a maggot cluster or like flaccid and deformed penises huddling together for warmth. In the cafe below, there is a big window with a table so that patrons can slurp coffee and people watch. They do not often see me watching them watching. When they do, we both get quite a shock. Who watched who first? There's a man and a woman sat at the window table. She is little and wearing a black top or dress I can't see below her torso and a red cardigan. She sips at a wide and shallow mug. They only have one type of mug there. The man has his arm around her and she looks like she has been superimposed on the picture in miniature. Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure, but he is very big and she is very little. I could never take him. I've never been much of a fighter anyway. Once there's a taekwondo incident in '99 when Teddy Fulton keep me right in the nudges. I threw up in front of everyone. The large man has a large beard and his arm looks both protective and threatening around the woman. I imagine his hands are rough and callous. They feel like sandpaper against my skin. My arm hair would catch perhaps in the grooves of his hard palms. The oversized mug fits perfectly in his hand. His lips move kind of clumsily like Duplo bricks falling down, and hers tight as a cat's arse. The pigeon shifts its weight from one foot to the other. Why doesn't my building have any of that anti-pigeon wiry business? A bus obscures my view of the calf and waits at the stop. A blonde, mutton-dressed as lamb type is running a little way behind it, waving her hands like a lunatic, her handbag pressing smack every other pedestrian. The bus driver seems to notice her flailing in the mirror. Something flies out of her bag. She's made it onto the bus. Inside it, I can just make her out, resting her hand on the back of the seat and breathing very hard. It was cigarettes that fell out of her bag. The homeless man that sleeps almost every night on the corner kicks the packet. It isn't empty. He smiles to himself and starts to walk in the direction of the pubs. I can see the couple again now. The bus has gone. Something's different. His arm is retreated to his side and he looks sheepish, maybe embarrassed. He's made some kind of faux pas, and in fact, the little lady has the upper hand. She is holding all the cards. I can see that now. It's in the way she carries her tiny frame. With assurance, she massages the back of the man's bulky neck, and he is at once her pet, her plaything. They are boring. The homeless man is asking for a light from the pub smoking area. A man in a sharp steel grey suit, most definitely tailored for him, stalks past the homeless man, and rather than ignoring the lighter request, he spins around, snaps his zipper over with a movement he must have spent hours practicing in the mirror. It is so pristine. He cleans chemically whitening teeth at the homeless man, probably giving him a smidge of snow blindness. And the homeless man hobbles back to a spot with smoky, savouring breaths. The silver suit streaks into the pub. A gaggle of children are being led by a teacher past the homeless man's spot. The teacher is one of those Miss Honey from Matilda types, holding hands with two girls who stare at her with big, loved-up eyes, falling away at her, their mouths moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour with probably inane questions. The children are all in matching vermilion jumpers, dull grey skirts and trousers, not public school kids. She ushers them towards the bus stop. A tall and gawky girl gives her a flower she had just plucked from a nearby plant pot, and the teacher frowns. unable to give her a reprimand or thanks, mulling over the correct inspirational teacher response. The sudden shadow of the gawky girl's face tells me she made the wrong choice. 3 of the children, the class clowns, have loitered at the back of the group and now broken up. They are dancing, wiggling little arses around, and yes, I think at the homeless man who is trying to smoke a cigarette in peace. Their bums edge closer and closer to the poor man's face, and they leap as if they've been whipped with a switch. They jump astonished at the roar of the man's voice. I can hear him, ever so slightly above the traffic. It is a muffled voice of violence, more than enough to frighten living daylights out of stupid little boys. They flee to the teacher. Another bus hides them from me for a moment, but I see they're getting on a school trip to the museum, I reckon. They are all at the back window of the bus, and it lurches, and they all press up against it, and they are looking at me. I sit back from the window for a second. 30 pairs of wide eyes looking up at me from the bus window, and the slanted, severe eyes of the teacher, as if she were looking at me out the back of her head. The bus is gone. The homeless man throws a cigarette down the gutter, and his eyes lift and meet my own. I stare back for as long as I comfortably can. He must have seen me here 1,000 times. I break eye contact. It makes my stomach itch on the inside. I look at the boring couple through the cafe window, and they look right back at me. And the homeless man is still staring, and the silver glimmer in my peripheral tells me that the suited and booted slick trickster is staring, and in my mind's eye, the teacher and her horse of kids are staring too. And I try to meet all of their eyes at once, and my belly churns over, and I think I'm going to be sick all over my window that I normally keep so clean because of my prized possession, my sanity, my vice, and I don't know whether to turn or be sick or stare. Pigeon, my kindred spirit's black eyes bury into mine, and he pecks my window, and the glass, it finally cracks.